So here we are, we've got our pleats all nicely pressed, and you can see you've got some nice even pleats with very little effort. You just use the fork, you don't have to actually measure anything. It's a little different if you want to do, whoops, inverted pleats. If I turn this round, you need your centre marked again. So we'll mark this here. There we go, I'll use a friction pen here, and I'm just going to mark that within the seam allowance and my other half of skirt. That's going to be caught, that's going to be your centre. So it depends entirely on the, again, on the size of pleats that you want. So we'll go with a slightly wider this time. So what I'm going to do, if I take a ruler, and this is going to be out here. So let me put 10 in the centre. Now if I do a 4-inch panel in the front, actually this is only a size 8-10, so perhaps I'll go with a 2-inch panel in the front. So with the front centre is going to be 2 inches. And then what I need to do, this is actually going to be folded backwards to meet up with my centre. So that's going to go there. I do show you a way, I give you a diagram in the instructions how to do this. You can work out your sizing on a sheet of paper if you prefer. So that's going to come to the centre. So this way we're going to start with a centre panel, and this is 1 inch from here to here. So what I would do, let's get a smaller ruler because it's easier to handle. So I'll mark 1 inch there and 1 inch there, because that's where our next fold's going to be. We're going to fold on that mark, fold our fabric to the last actual fold we made. Oh, rope in there. So we're going to fold that one on the mark and then fold that in. This is pulling down. I need to pull that up a little, the fabric. So we got that there and we've got that there. So this is actually going to have the piece in the centre with the folds further along, but you can do it the other way round if you prefer. Let's start again with this one. You can fold your centre in the other direction, so you can, your first here, you can join that to here, but this one is only going to give 1/2 inch pleat, so we want a bit bigger than that. So what we're going to do is we're going to ignore these, because that was for the pleats where you have the wider panel to start off with. So here's our centre mark. So I now need to mark this at 2 inches to get my 1 inch pleat, because now what's going to happen is this 2 inch mark is going to come and meet the centre. So that's going to go there. And that's going to go there. So the same again, we're going to fold that there, and that's going to come to the center. Oops. And then we're going to leave a gap. The gap is up to you how much you want to leave, because your next pleat is going to need to be 2 inches again from here and here. So if you don't want too much of a pleat, we can do it this way. So we're going to fold and then meet up. You can, if you wanted to, you could leave 3 inches, 4 inches, and then you wouldn't have that many. I think on my red linen one, I've only actually got 3 pleats. So we're going to, whoops, where's my, that's it. So that's going to go in to meet this one. And then the same on the other side. I'm going to fold that one and make the crease there. And that's going to go and line up with my, whoops, underside, with my previous one. Sorry, forgot myself there. I was going back into knife pleats. So that's there. Then we need another 2 inches. From the fold. And then that's going to come and join up with the center there. So you're actually giving yourself 1 inch pleats all the way along, but the fabric is actually going to now fall on the inside, rather than all of your pleats being in the same direction. Again, it depends on how many pleats you want in your top. This top will still take another one, so it'll be a case of another 2 inches along. And I may get another one out of that. We'll see when we get to the end. So we're going to finger press that just to make the crease. And then we're going to take that to the previous fold. We're going to keep going along until we've reached the side with the amount of fabric we have. So that's going to be sewn with these pleats on the outside of the bodice. So we're going to stitch those together like that.